Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss about descriptive statistics. First of all, what is statistics? Statistics is the discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data. Statistics is simply a set of procedures for describing, synthesizing, analyzing, and interpreting quantitative data. For example, statistical procedures can produce one number, the mean, that indicates the average scores of 1000 students. Types of statistics. There are two main types of statistics, descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics is the term given to the analysis of data that helps describe, show or summarize data in a meaningful way, such that, for example, patterns might emerge from the data. Inferential statistics, you take data from samples and make generalizations about a population. We use inferential statistics to make judgment of the probability that an observed difference between groups is a dependable one or one that might have happened by chance. Statistics versus parameters. The major advantage of descriptive statistics is that they permit researchers to describe the information contained in many scores with just a few indices, such as the mean and median. When such indices are calculated for a sample drawn from a population, they are called statistics. When they are calculated from the entire population, they are called parameters. Because most educational research involves data from samples rather than from population, we refer mainly to statistics in the remainder of this chapter. We present the most commonly used technique for summarizing such data. Some form of summary is essential to interpret data collected on any variable. A long list of scores or categorical representation is simply unmanageable. Types of descriptive statistics. The major type of descriptive statistics discussed in the following section are frequencies, measures of centric tendencies, and measures of variability. Measures of relative positions and measures of relationships. Frequencies. Frequency refers to the number of times something occurs with descriptive statistics. Frequency usually refers to the number of times each value of a variable occurs. Here is an example of frequency distribution of arithmetic test scores. There are two columns, score columns and frequency columns. For example, the score of 60 is obtained by a one student and score of 66 is obtained by 3 students. Type of frequencies. Ungrouped frequency distribution. Ungrouped frequency distribution can be used for data, usually discrete, that can be enumerated, and when the range of values in the dataset is not large. Here is an example of ungrouped frequency distribution. There are three columns: marks obtained, tally marks, and frequency. For example, if a student, here is a student who get 12 marks, we put a tally mark in the tally marks column and write the frequency number in the frequency column, and so on. Group frequency distribution can be used when the range of values in the dataset is very large. The data must be grouped into classes that are more than 1 unit in width. Here is an example. There are two columns: people age and frequency. 21 persons lie in the range of 19 to 29. Frequency distribution graph. A frequency distribution graph is basically a picture of the information available in a frequency distribution table. We consider several different types of graph, but all start with two perpendicular lines called axes. The horizontal line is the x-axis or the abscissa. The vertical line is the y-axis or the ordinate. The measurement scale is listed along the x-axis with values increasing from left to right. The frequencies are listed on the y-axis with values increasing from the bottom to top. As a general rule, the point where the two axes intersect should have a value of 0 for both the scores and the frequencies. A final general rule is that the graph should be constructed so that its height is approximately two-thirds to three-quarters of its length. Graphs for interval are ratio data. When the data consists of numerical scores that have been measured on an interval or ratio scale, there are two options for constructing a frequency distribution graph. The two types of graph are called histogram and polygons. Histogram. To construct a histogram, you first list the numerical score, the categories of measurement along the x-axis. Then you draw a bar above each x value so that the height of the bar corresponds to the frequency for that category. For continuous variable, the width of the bar extends to the real limits of the category. For discrete variables, each bar extends exactly half the distance to the adjacent category on each side. For both continuous and discrete variables, each bar in a histogram extends to the midpoint between adjacent categories. As a result, adjacent bars touch and there are no spaces or gaps between bars. Here is an example of histogram with ungrouped frequency distributions. The sum of the quiz score is presented in a frequency distribution table and in a histogram. This graph shows the group frequency distribution. The same set of children's height is presented in frequency distribution table and in a histogram. Polygon. The second option for graphing a distribution of numerical scores from an interval or ratio scales of measurement is called a polygon. To construct a polygon, you begin by listing the numerical scores along the x-axis. Then a dot is centered above each score so that the vertical position of the dot corresponds to the frequency for the category. A continuous line is drawn from dot to dot to connect the series of dots. The graph is completed by drawing a line down to the x-axis at each end of the range of scores. The final lines are usually drawn so that they reach the x-axis at a point that is one category below the lowest scores on the left side and one category above the highest scores on the right side. Here is an example of polygon. The same set of scores is presented in a frequency distribution table and in a polygon. Bar graph. A bar graph is essentially the same as a histogram, except that spaces are left between adjacent bars. For a nominal scale, the space between bars emphasizes that the scales consist of separate, distinct categories. For ordinal scales, separate bars are used because you cannot assume that the categories are all the same size. To construct a bar, list the categories of measurement along the x-axis and then draw a bar above each category so that the height of the bar equals the frequency for the category. Here is an example of bar graph. There are three personality types that are presented in this graph. Personality type A, B and C, and that is on x-axis, and on y-axis the frequencies of that personality type. For example, personality there are 10 persons who has personality type of type A. There are 5 persons who have personality type of B. and so on. Next is measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendencies are indices that represent a typical score among a group of scores. They provide a convenient way of describing a set of data with a single number that represents a value, generally in the middle, central to the dataset. The three most frequently used measures of central tendency are the mean, the median, and the mode. Each index is used with the different scales of measurement. The mean is appropriate for describing interval or ratio data, the median for describing ordinal data, and the mode for describing nominal data. The mean, because most quantitative measurement in educational research uses an interval scale, the mean is most commonly used measure of central tendency. The mean is the arithmetic average of the scores. It is calculated by adding up all the scores and dividing that total by the number of scores. Mean is equal to sum of all the data points divided by number of data points. Symbolic form is arithmetic mean is equal to summation xi divided by n. Mean of group data x bar is equal to sigma fx by n, where x bar is equal to mean, f is equal to frequency of each class, x is equal to mid interval value of each class, n is equal to total frequency, sigma f is equal to sum of the products of mid and interval values and their corresponding frequencies. The median is the midpoint in a distribution. 50% of the scores are above the median and 50% are below the median. If the total number of the score is odd, the median is the middle score. Assuming the scores are arranged in order of value, if the number of the score is even, the median is the point halfway between the two middle scores. The median is most useful when looking away at variables that may vary widely over the distribution, such as income. Here is an example of calculating medians. If you are calculating medians from odd number, 6 is the median. If you are calculating the median from the odd numbers to the two middle points, such as 4 and 5, add them and divide them on 2. The mode is the score that is attained by more subjects than any other scores. The mode is not established through calculation. It is determined by looking at a set of scores or at a graph of scores and seeing which scores occur most frequently. The mode is generally of limited value and not often used in educational research. For one thing, a set of scores may have two or more modes, in which case the set is described as bimodal or multimodal.